In this e-learning, we are going to show you how to install the WiseOption server engine on your computer. First, a quick checklist. Please make sure you follow the steps in the same sequence as we describe in this tutorial. Also make sure you're running WiseOption version 4.2.13 or higher on your computer. If you are behind a few updates, please install the latest version available before you proceed with this installation. If you have just one computer, in this case your computer works as the server and as the terminal at the same time. In other words, simply consider your computer as the server. In this tutorial, I will focus on the term server because this is the most frequent scenario among our users. Terminals on your local network that access WiseOption don't need this installation. The installation should be performed only on the server. Please make sure you have a good backup before you proceed with this installation. A go back point file from WiseOption is good enough for you to move forward. Also, users can keep using WiseOption normally if necessary. However, it is always recommended to have the server in an exclusive mode whenever installing new components and features. Next, we make sure that you have the Microsoft.NET Framework 4 version extended installed on your server. To check if you already have it on the server, please open the Windows control panel and check the list of programs installed on the Windows. Some computers already come out of the box with a light version of the Microsoft.NET Framework 4. However, we need the extended version of it. Here's a link for you to download and install the extended version if necessary. Please install that first if needed and only then move to the next step. This is the hyperlink for you to download the package that contains all files we will need to install WiseOption server engine on your server. If necessary, just bring the slide back and copy the link. You can either open or save the file. It is actually up to you to choose the way you're going to perform this file access. For this step, all we need is that you find the two folders that are in the wse.zip file and that you copy those two folders into WiseOption's main folder on the server. Now that we have the two folders copied over to WiseOption's main folder on the server, let's work with the server engine folder first. In that folder, you will find the file called serviceregister.cmd. Use the mouse right-click button on the service register file and the option menu pops up on your screen. Then select Edit from the menu of options. Usually, the Windows Notepad pops up on your screen so you can see the file's content. Before we run the file and register the service, I want to make sure that the path is pointing to the correct location in your server. This file comes with a standard path, but we'll need to change it if that is not the correct location on the server. If it's in this slide, you will see only a part that you should change in the file. Don't change anything else, just this part you see marked here in this slide. Please change the path accordingly if necessary and then save the file. Next, we are going to do the same process but for a different file, the woudlpath.dat. Again, using the mouse right-click, select Edit and make sure that the correct path is in the file, pointing to the wiseoption.udl file. Save your changes if needed and let's move to the next step. In this step, we are going to work again with the serviceregister.cmd file. But this time, you are going to right-click and select Open from the menu, which will actually run the file. Some Windows versions have the option to run as the administrator in the list. please use that option instead if you have that option in your list. As you run the file, a black window will pop up on your screen, and if everything works as we are expecting, you should receive the first success message in that window. Use the space bar on your keyboard and you should then receive the second success message in that window. Press the space bar again on your keyboard and that box should go away. If not, just exit out. With these actions, you have just registered the server engine on your server. Now, we are going to repeat the same steps, but this time for the server engine updater folder. Select the service register.cmd file from the updater folder. Use the mouse right click and then select edit. Change the path accordingly and save the change. The updater folder does not need a path review for the UDL file, like we did on the server engine folder. With the path review to the register file complete, now right-click again and select to open from the menu. Use the same process. Use the option Run as the administrator if you have that option in your list. By doing so, the first success message should come on your screen. As you press the space bar, you're going to see the second success message and one more space bar on your keyboard and that box goes away, or if needed, just exit out. So here are the points you should have achieved so far. A version verification for WISE Option program, a framework installation if needed, the download and extraction of the WISE Option server engine package, the folder path verification for the registry files, and the registration of the services on the server. At this point, the services are registered on the server, but they are not running yet. Before we can run the services, we still need to review some settings in your WISE Option program. Log into WISE Option using the administrator username and password, and then from the top menu, click on Tools and Options. Right-click under the just right under the General tab. Select the button that accesses the WISE Option Server Engine Options. Please enter the username and password, which should be the same as the ones you use to access the members area on our website, and save that. Next, enter the same email address in the next text box where you read the sentence email from, and update that as well. The view buttons you see to the left of each sentence allows you to determine who is going to be notified on each specific event executed by the services. The first view button allows you to say who is going to receive messages in WISE Option if something goes wrong with the server engine installed on the server. Remember, you might be using WISE Option out of a terminal and the engine is actually installed on the server. So this is the way we can let you know if something is wrong with our services on the server. The second view button is for the same purposes as the first, but instead of sending you a warning message through the program, this actually is going to send an email to the list of email addresses you put in this list. And the third button, the third view button, is for you to specify the list of email addresses that will receive the daily mare review report if you have our reproduction modules, the stallion and mare management in WISE Option. Click on the Report Off button and turn the report status to on if you want to receive the May Review report daily. If the May Review report is on, email address is sent to the list email address you create under that view button. And that report runs daily, sometime between 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning. If it is not breeding season, you could turn off the daily report and yet have the chance to run it manually at any time. Just use the Run button for manual requests of the May Review reports on email. This is a nice thing about this report is that a new version of it is in your inbox every morning, which means that you can access your May records from your iPhone, iPad, BlackBerry, or any smartphone or device with access to the internet and your email account. Once you review these settings in Wise Option, we are now ready to start the services that you just registered on the server. Still working on the server, let's open the list of services registered on Windows. There are different ways you can view the services registered on your server. The one I use is to right-click on My Computer and select the option that says Manage out of the list. You could also click on the Windows Start button from the taskbar on the bottom and right-click on Computer if you don't have the My Computer option on your desktop. And the menu with options pops up on your screen. From that menu, select Manage option and view the computer management window which pops up on your screen. This is how the computer management window looks like in older versions of the Windows system. And this is the list of services under the Services and Applications tree mode. That's where you can find the list of services. And this here is how it looks like in more recent versions of the Windows. Different versions of the Windows will present the list of services under different node titles from the tree. Some versions will have that list under the Applications and Configurations node. For this tutorial, I'm going to use the old version. In any case, you will need to adjust this window a little bit so you can see things better. For this slide, for example, first I maximized the form, then I made the column for the services name a bit wider. And finally, I clicked on the column header title to invert the alphabetical order, which is originally from A to Z, and I changed the order to Z to A. This way, with the inverted alphabetical order, my services show on top of my list because the names of the services I'm looking for start with W. I'm talking about the Wise Option Server Engine and the Wise Option Server Engine Updater. First, highlight the Wise Option Server Engine by selecting it from the list, and then click on the Start option to start that service. It should take a few seconds to start the service, and sometimes it will even fail in your first try. If that happens, please try it again. Next, let's perform the same action, but this time for the Wise Option Server Engine Updater. Okay, now you need to wait a few minutes. I would say something between 5 to 15 minutes, which varies based on the size of your database and your internet connection bandwidth. If you check the Windows event log, specifically the application events, you will find the events that are registered by our services. And we are looking for an event that looks close to the one you see on this slide. A message saying that the service was started successfully, and that also shows the service version you have installed on your server. A final verification would be related to some of the actions performed by our services, such as the daily mail review report, which you should have a copy in your email inbox at this point. If you have enabled that option, of course, in Wise Option, or maybe through the benchmark report for breeders, which is available through our website. Also, for those under the monthly ASP plan, you no longer need to enter key codes every period because these services will be performing that task for you. If you have any problems or need assistance, please do not hesitate to open a support ticket from your account on our website, and we will be with you as soon as we can. We hope you enjoy the features and reports in our server engines, and please keep reading our newsletter for the enhancements we are preparing for you, and that should be coming out soon. Thank you for watching this e-learning and for choosing Wise Option for your equine management needs.